Hey Brock, how are you?
Doing well, John. How are you?
I'm good. I was checking my YouTube comments, and probably one of the most commented things, my underwear video is my biggest video, and so I get a lot of comments on that one. But people always say that I missed the brand Andrew Christian, and I don't know who that is or what that is. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna buy some stuff, and I went on the site, and it turns your cursor into a unicorn, and it's a very aggressive website with male masculinity. So I can see why people are upset that I missed out on that brand.
I'm missing something. Wait, Andrew Christian?
It's an underwear brand.
Oh,
And people
interesting.
always say in my pouch video, like, you missed Andrew Christian. And I'm like, okay, let me go buy some stuff. And so that'll make for an interesting haul in a couple weeks here.
I'm checking it out right now. Are you gonna do a video?
I think I have to. I think I say in the video, like, let me know what brands I missed. And there's a few that have come up. I've purchased them. But this one, for some reason, I just never even Googled. And I literally just did it, what we were about to get on the call. And I'm going to be doing a haul, I guess.
Wow, this this website is something else. It's
Yeah.
making me want to hit the gym.
Well, so I always like write down notes between episodes, and I had like this stuff I wanted to ask you right at the beginning, but I just totally got sidetracked.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that.
hmm But well, anyways, so you started doing. I noticed that you've been doing a cadence on Instagram, but you ran out of. You said 6 of 6 in your watch shots. Are you going to stick with that cadence now?
I was just thinking about that because I posted today. Yeah, I was doing like watch outfit outfit watch outfit outfit. So it's that nice like it's kind of like what you do. Like you have your three themes, and then it like creates like a nice feed. But I
hmm
found that people don't like the watch pictures as much. Like they don't. It doesn't get as many likes. So I don't know. Maybe people are just there for outfits and not watches on my feed.
I see the same exact thing. I see less engagement on the watches and the ties, and then my middle posts always do really well. And so I've also thought about abandoning the current cadence because it is restrictive. Like I have all these pictures that I'd like to post, but then I have to post two pictures in order to post the one that I want to post. And so I've been thinking about ditching it too.
Yeah, yeah. And then like you mess it up once, and like your whole feed structure is all screwed up. So, but I think it might kind of be like how it is with like YouTube or any other platform where the people who subscribe to you or choose to follow on Instagram, like they follow for whatever you're doing at the time. So if you start doing something new, obviously they're not going to like that as much. So, if you're like a Teddy or something and you're just doing watches, they follow you for close up watch shots. And so like if he posted an outfit pic, it probably wouldn't do as well as his normal stuff.
Yeah. What a finicky thing, the social media world.
I know. It's just like we were talking to Travis White not too long ago, and he recommends daily posts on Instagram, and like if you think about that, I mean that's 365 photos, like good photos of you in a year, which is like it's a lot. It's a lot of pictures.
It is, but what I was most shocked by is when we went out with him in LA, and I saw it again when we were out with him in Atlanta. The way that he snaps photos, like he probably there were less photos taken of him on that LA trip than everybody else combined, but the ones that he took were so like they were thought out, they were pointed, he posed in a certain way. And so I might have taken six shots of him in Atlanta. Like he told me, like he directed me how to take a photo of him, which was also very helpful. And like he got six incredible shots. He took maybe 2 dozen of me, and I got like four good ones out of it. And so once you hit like that level of refinement, I think it becomes very easy to get 300 really good pictures. It takes a lot of work to get to that point, but that was one of the biggest things I learned going out with him a couple of times.
Yeah, he's definitely got his craft down, and I think also he'll take like the same picture with like a different pair of shoes. Like he'll change like one detail, and then he'll either use that as like a this or that, or he'll use the variation like a month later. Which and he talks about that too, like posting, like reposting or like posting small variations or older content. Like no one really cares, if it's like if you took the photo today or not. So I think that's another way to get a lot of mileage out of your shoots.
Yeah, beats what I've been doing, which has been taking like 6 outfits and changing in the car. Actually, I bought a changing tent, an extra tall changing tent.
So does your head like poke out of the top, and everybody's like, "What's that guy doing?"
No, I actually haven't popped it up and used it yet. I bought one right after LA, but I haven't taken it out.
Nice. Yeah, it's a pain just like car changing, and I mean even changing tents like it's just kind of a pain doing that. But I kind of want to find a way, and I've been trying to do it in the space outside of my studio, to take like it'd be cool to be able to take like a really like quality, basically outfit of the day selfie every day. I've seen there's a woman like fashion YouTube channel slash Instagram called Dearly Bethany, and she took I think a picture every day for like a whole year, and she got really good at it. And her pictures are all like on the same backdrop, like it's very clean, but they're super nice. I really like the I don't know that whole project. So I think that's another option, I guess, if you don't want to like go out and shoot with actual photographers.
Yeah, I feel like that's what Chris Meehan has nailed. That formula is like same backdrop, swap out the shirt and the pants, and repeat it.
Yep, exactly.
And he used to be in front of the garage door.
Now he's upgraded
Back,
to like a living room wall.
yeah, back when I first started with Chris, he was in a garage door. Wasn't even that long ago.
Wow. Well, and he's like, I mean, I don't know what he's using, but like his photos aren't like, super high quality, like bokeh, all that stuff. I mean, there's just kind of like a selfie.
I know. Are you taking those ones outside of your studio on your GH5
Yeah, that's GH5.
tripod?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, man, I've been slacking on the video content, but you've been on it. I liked the Gap Old Navy video. That was interesting.
Oh yeah. Wait till you see the one that'll be up in 2 weeks.
Can you tell us what it is?
Yeah, so I shot it yesterday. I wrote it and shot it yesterday, but it had been stewing for a while. And it's basically saying why the quality of brands have gone down over time. And so, like, broadly, we both know the story. It's like, brands overexpanded and then they have to cut costs and then they discount and everything. But, like, I start to talk about, like, if J. Crew knows that they used to sell sweaters for $50 on average, but now they're only selling for 30, but they're keeping the price up high and they're discounting. They're going to drop the raw material costs in order to hit their margins because they got to make money. And you can't really outsmart a brand. It's like people that think they're outsmarting credit card companies, I guess they don't process that there's an entire team of PhDs and data scientists engineering products to get more of your money. And it's like with retailers too. It's like, retailers are still making money. You're just not getting what you used to. And so that's why people now say like J. Crew's quality has gone downhill, Gap's quality has gone downhill. It's because they're making lower quality products because people don't want to pay for them. And so I basically break down that entire thing.
Right. So when people say like, "Hey, I only buy J. Crew on sale," it's like they know that you're doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you are the reason that J. Crew doesn't have the quality that they used to. And that's fine. It's like everybody wants to feel like they're getting a deal. And actually there was a comment on a YouTube video about Bonobos, and they said it was interesting that my pick for budget chinos was $58 and Bonobos are $88 when most people buy Bonobos on sale, so it's basically the same price. And I just commented back like 70% of product that's sold at a retail store is sold at full price. People only brag about getting good deals. And so it's not like somebody walks around and they say, "Oh, I like your pants." And they say, "Oh, I bought them for full price." People are excited to talk about deals. And I think that's so funny because that used to be my old mentality. That's the whole thing that started this channel was like buy cheap stuff. And then I've slowly like graduated beyond there. And that's why I think I've had a little bit of a identity crisis maybe about my channel is like, I think what caused me to go that route before was a lack of education. And so now it's more of a thing of like, how do you educate and say why something costs the way it does, which happened, that really started back with a sneaker video and it's going to carry on through my videos this year. And so it's been an incredible 3 years after I started my channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and things change very quickly too, as like your industry videos kind of show. I kind of sense like another change coming in. I don't think it's like mainstream, but if you look at like the real enthusiasts in this space, consumers, I mean, like the people on like Male Fashion Advice subreddit, for example, there seems to be kind of like a little bit of a rebound against the direct to consumer brands, and like uh like revitalization almost in the like really high quality like heritage brands. Um, Not like designers necessarily, although I guess there's some crossover between those two categories, but like your Aldens and to some extent like Alan Edmonds, but like uh, you
Yeah,
know,
Alden's or Red Wing or
yeah, Red
um,
Wing,
I
yeah,
feel like I see Drake's more than ever now.
exactly, exactly. And I think the idea is that these companies have been doing it for so long, and like they're not internet savvy, and they don't have like good social media presence, but their product is so good, and in some sense, like they might be more trustworthy in terms of like quality control and everything than some of these brand new direct consumer brands. Like I saw one thread that basically the conclusion was like, if you can afford these really high quality brands, do that. The next best thing is these kind of like good quality direct to consumer brands. And they were talking about boots. So like if you can go Alden, go Alden. If you can't, go Thursday Boots. Don't buy anything cheaper than that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And that's actually, I mentioned that at the end of my video is basically, the specialty brands like Gap and J. Crew and any of the mall brands. It's like they saw a huge, they get some traction. And this is another video I started writing a while ago is they get some traction. They go public, raise a bunch of money. They do tons of stores and they essentially overextend themselves and then they have to pull back later on. Whereas the heritage brands just kind of chug along for years making money. And I can definitely see that with the D2C brands because there's a few brands that I covered in the past that like are just gone. And like heritage brands kind of give you that, they give you that security around it. So I think there could also be, and this happened with me too, is like you start to get into fashion, and this could be any of the guys in MFA. You start to get into fashion, and all you can afford are the J. Crew Gaps and those things. And then a few years later, like you get promotions and you change jobs and you start to be able to afford more and you make more money. And then you start to realize like, okay, this is why things cost more. And it's like there could be this whole collective group that was a generational change in MFA of people that are like, oh yeah, I used to buy $50 shoes, but now I can afford $300 ones and I can see why. And so you have to kind of educate the person behind you, which is exactly what happened to me.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, it could be a generational thing, and all the guys in like their late 20s and 30s and stuff are just kind of getting to that point, where they have money and care a little more and want better stuff.
Yeah. It's just like speaker gear. It's like you can just buy great speakers when you're older. Can't, well, you want them when you're younger, but you can't afford them.
Man, I remember getting my dad was always really into like having like a good like audio setup at home. And like he was like one of the first like dads on the block to have like a CD player, like back in the day, back when CD players were like crazy expensive. And I remember when I first got my place, I always wanted like the same thing. I wanted like nice speakers and like a good receiver and like, the whole setup. And after I moved, I kind of like I like sold a bunch of stuff off. And now I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever buy like that setup again, like that like home entertainment setup with the receiver and the speakers and the surround sound. Like, I don't know. I might just be like a soundbar guy now.
Yeah, you're like a millennial. You just want to move around, be untethered, no commitments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
go
All
wherever you
willy
want.
nilly.
Although we're both married, so we're kind of against the trend.
That's true. Yeah, we're tethered.
Yeah, I'm definitely
You're
tethered.
very tethered.
I'm very tethered.
Increasingly.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about doing like a thing this summer, and then I was like, oh well, got a baby coming in July. I can't really do that.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's tethered for sure.
So you're pulling back intentionally. You talked about focusing more on the website, but it seems like you just like you want to do the videos you want to do. You don't want to stick to a commitment or a schedule.
Well, I've got a bunch of stuff in the queue, and like some is like ready to go, but I'm trying to build up a little bit of a queue and then also work on series. So like the minimalism series. So I have a few more videos in that one. Then I'm gonna do a celebrity style breakdown series, and basically like I want to like get these series done. So maybe it's like 3 or 4 videos, and then I'm working on sort of like a new way. I mean, new way for me to work with sponsors where it's like not at all integrated into the video. It's just like a straight like 30-second commercial, like near the beginning, and it can kind of fit into any video. So I'm not like, if it's like a hair loss company, I'm not going to make a video about hair loss. It could be like a video about Donald Glover's style, and then there's
Hmm.
just this like kind of sponsored commercial at the beginning. So I'm talking to a few companies right now, and I'm kind of queuing up videos until I get that stuff sorted out. So I'm hoping that'll be a good kind of way for me, at least, to going forward to work with sponsors, um, without being too intrusive or really influencing my content calendar.
Well, that's the edutainment model. Like most of the videos I end up watching on YouTube are those things like explaining how cruise ships work or freight trains, that kind of thing. And then they'll start out, give you a 5 second, this video is brought to you by Skillshare, and then they'll do a minute at the end or something like that. And I think it's smart.
Yeah, exactly. Like I really like the way like Thomas Frank does it. He kind of does
Hmm.
that same method, and I'm sure for those big channels, like they have a little more leverage. Like they can tell a brand, hey, like we only do the sponsored mention at the end, and that's why it only costs this much. I'm kind of experimenting with that, but yeah, just the idea that it's more of a standard commercial, and the product doesn't necessarily have to be related to the content of the video, and because for a while for the last like few months I just didn't do any sponsorships, and it's great, but it's also you're leaving revenue on the table for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought about this for a while. I was like, how can I take away sponsorships necessarily for like clothing, and that way I can keep editorial independence? Because I've always thought like if BMW could sponsor the channel for a month or something, and then I could do whatever I want within there, it's like I think it's a great way to do it. So for you, like if you're looking at Skillshare or Squarespace or XYZ other brand that is all over the place that can support you that way, and then make the celebrity series, that'll get views. I think that's smart.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this whole celebrity series is like brought to you by Squarespace, and maybe it's 4 videos, the big companies that do a lot of that sort of thing, like Squarespace, which is one of the brands I'm talking to, like they buy packages. They're like, hey, we want 4 videos over the next 2 months, and
Hmm.
we don't really care what the videos are about, but here are the talking points. So
Yeah, it's branding versus they're not trying to sell individual SKUs.
exactly, yeah, you're like a drop in the bucket of a part of a much bigger influencer marketing plan.
Nice. Yeah, I was surprised when I talked to Raphael out in LA. Like he was like, "Yeah, we have 35 videos right now done. We're just posting them, weekly." And I was like, "Wow, that's a nice place to be."
That's great, man. That's got to feel real good.
Yeah, I know. And because like with us, like with the podcast, we had 5 episodes ready to go like in December, and then we let them like kind of flow out, and it was weekly and everything. And then we got to the end, but we didn't keep up the queue. So
Yeah, we got super lazy.
yeah, it's okay. It's an experiment. The podcast is an experiment.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like about the podcast too. Is like it's been such a great way to meet people, and it's not like there's no pressure. Like I don't feel bad if we, I don't know, like don't record anything for a couple weeks or whatever. It's just like fun.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what podcasting is all about until you get acquired by Spotify.
Right.
If we were more serious about it, we would have been in there with Anchor and Gimlet for sure.
And then we'll start a new podcast called On Yachting.
Mm. I just found out there's a whole genre of music called yacht rock.
Is that like what's a band that would fit into that?
I was surprised because there's a lot of 80s stuff. There was like, oh, I can't even remember. It was a Spotify playlist called Yacht Rock, and I was like, oh, it's just basically softer 80s rock.
Hmm. Yacht rock.
So with the videos, then are you gonna like hone in on some of the like celebrities or shorter, like short content? Like, is that what you're really trying to focus on this year? Because with the website, I know you've always been very short guy focused, but the YouTube stuff is very broad and applicable to everybody.
Yeah, I think with I'm still focusing on it in like a more subtle way. So like yeah, with the celebrity style breakdown, like there's so many well dressed celebrities out there, so I'm gonna focus on the shorter ones, uh, just to kind of like keep that part of the channel in like a not so overt way, I guess. Um, and then yeah, I mean I have some other concepts for series, but I'm excited about that one because I think I don't know. I'm trying to make videos that are like a little a little more repeatable, like in terms of like the recording and production process and stuff that can be, edited by someone else. As long as I, if I do the first one, say, hey, here's how this series should be edited, then someone else would kind of copy it. So just trying to be a little smarter about the whole content creation process, because if you reinvent the wheel every single time, you can spend days on one video.
Yeah, I know that. I know what that pain in the ass is like.
Yeah, like your ultimate guide type videos, like the Chino video and the sneakers, like what, like 20 hours, 30 hours?
Yeah, more. Well, yeah, a little more than. Sometimes it ends up being more than that, but yeah. I think that's good. Yeah. So, what do you got going on the rest of? So we're like halfway in March. I'm going to put this one out today, but you headed to New York April.
Yeah, I think early April. I don't have a date yet. And you're going to be in New York next week?
Yeah, I'm going there. I realized I could have added 2 more days for how much stuff I ended up squeezing in, but I'm going to vlog the whole trip like on my personal channel, and then I'm going to make a vlog of the new Hudson Yards space that's dedicated to direct-to-consumer companies for the Cavalier. And then just, I'm going to try and meet up with Moods by Mark for a photo shoot, Eric, NYC Style, a couple other guys while I'm out there.
Oh, nice.
Multifaceted trip.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's the deal with the Hudson Yards thing? Is that like, are you like in touch with them, or are you just going and taking your camera?
No, I'm just going to go and hope they don't take my camera because I don't have a permit to shoot.
Nice. What is the, so it's just a new like multi-use retail space that's for like online brands?
Yeah, so the whole Hudson Yards project was the train yards that were never built upon because there's like, it's superheated train railways underneath, but they figured out how to do it. So now they have commercial, residential, and then like living or greenery space now at Hudson Yards, and they're opening the shopping retail center. So it'll kind of be like the Oculus. I'm sure it'll just be like Neiman Marcus is opening their first New York-based store at the Hudson Yards thing. So there's tons of retail there, but there's a whole floor that's smaller dedicated to like Allbirds and Mack Weldon, and I don't know that Koyo has some, like it's a lot of Nottum that I covered, the cashmere place. So a bunch of D2C brands are just on this one floor. So I figured it'd be cool to go and see them all in person.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
Now, if I was a little bit sharper, I probably would have reached out to the Hudson Yards and had them do something. But now I'm just going to go, and actually the Mensch is going to meet me there, and we're going to walk through it together.
Ah, the Mensch.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, and you do a shoot with Mark. He's a good guy. I've done one shoot with him and really liked his style.
Yeah, and I feel like it's good to have like good to have time with somebody who just does this and they can direct you properly instead of like somebody who maybe is a good photographer but doesn't necessarily do Instagram and models. And Mark is great for that. Totally.
Yeah.
Kind of like Travis. It's like shooting with Travis is very different than a normal photographer.
Yeah, they almost like mold you a little bit, like they kind of, I don't know, they tell you what to do, and it's it takes the pressure off for you trying to like come up with like cool poses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Travis, I guess just started his YouTube channel, and it looks like it's going to be like a mix of like social media advice and like photography advice and probably some men's style stuff. But I could see him getting big on YouTube because his advice is just so solid.
Yeah, and like if it's anything like his Menfluential talk, absolutely. But the big, I was talking to him at Menfluential, and he was like, "Yeah, I got his videos unlisted," and we were talking, and he showed me a couple of them, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm just going to make them public," and I was like, "You can't do that. They won't get pushed out to subscribers, and they won't get new notifications." And he was like, "Seriously?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay." So I was like talking him through how to get them published out. We should have him back on the podcast because he's come a long way since Unkept Gent. I think that was 2 years ago we talked to him.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, we got to get him back on.
Yeah, talk about starting a new one today. We're going to get Teddy back on. Teddy's come a long way since he was on here. Yep. Basically, if you were on the Button Up podcast, you're geared for success is the story here.
Yeah. So, and if you're not yet successful, if you'd like to be, come on the show, and the next year is going to be amazing for you.
Right. We talked to Alex Costa. He had 500,000 subscribers. Now he has 1.8 or something.
Yeah. You think that's coincidence? I don't.
Definitely not.
You're welcome, Alex.
Yeah. So we're working on some cool guests. We're gonna have some guys come back, and then we're trying to get some of the new guys that they're out there. Definitely gonna talk to Tim, who we met at Menfluential, and so we just want to talk to cool guys, get their story, and introduce them to you. Or ladies. There's not a lot of ladies in what we do, though.
Yeah, we do need to get some more ladies. Maybe some like company founders or other. Let's see, we had Megan. We get Ashley Weston on. Maybe she'd do one.
I don't know. I don't know if she knows about my video. She might not want to come on.
Oh yeah. No, probably not a good fit. We'll have Dorian on. Get their perspective.
That kills the women's side.
Yeah, that's all the women we know.
Well, we had Anna too. Anna from Theo & Harris.
Oh yeah. Anna was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you listened to Maggie Rogers since she mentioned it? Maggie Rogers is like blowing up since I heard about her.
Yeah, I actually, that was the first time I heard about her, and yeah, it's good stuff.
Trendsetter.
Yep.
All right, that feels pretty good. Anybody else still out there? Well, always appreciate you guys listening, and iTunes reviews, whatever people say at the end of podcasts, and that sort of stuff. But thanks for joining us. Thank you for listening to the Buttoned Up Podcast, a collaboration between John Shanahan of The Cavalier and Brock McGough of The Modest Man, and we will see you next week.